All right, guys, big week if you're a fan of minnow profile baits. We got both Megabass and Raid coming to the gates hot. We also have something for you guys if you're Pokemon fans or topwater fans. Let's get into the drop. It's gonna be mega. All right, let's do our acquaintances. If you're new here, this is your first time, we do this every single Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a drop, so we're gonna gather everything new in the store, new colors, new baits, talk about some maybe gear you wanna go with it, and just show you everything. You know, the style of baits that we bring into the store a lot of times are pretty new to completely the market. So this is how we sort of introduce you guys to all the new stuff. Now, if you're new here, we are at Taco Rose Fishing. That is our official handle for pretty much everything. If you want to check us out on Instagram, or obviously this is a YouTube channel, you can do that. And then the guy behind the camera is QTR_46. Ashton is his name, and QTR46 is his Instagram handle. And then me, if you want to check out my stuff, it's at Taco Prez on Instagram. That's pretty much the only place that I have stuff. On our own personal stuff, you know, this next coming week, we're going to be doing a lot of fishing for one of the biggest tournaments that we do in Canada. So if you guys want to get some behind the scenes stuff, we eventually will release, you know, the tournament video. It's one of our favorite videos to put out every year. It's a week of, you know, getting to hang out with one of my good friends and fishing literally for 7-8 days straight. So it's pretty sweet. Plus we're on Lake Ontario, you know, it's not uneventful, let me tell you that. Last year we had some problems. This year, no problems. I'm getting new Apex lithium batteries.
Knock on some kind of wood.
Well, I'm getting new Apex lithium, so I think that we're going to be pretty dialed in for
battery wise.
Yeah, because that was the problem last year. But essentially, you know, there's obviously going to be a drop next week, as usual. But we're going to be gone to the St. Lawrence River fishing for, you know, 7 days. We have a big tournament, chance to win a boat, which is pretty sweet. Me and Ashton have done this every year now. This is going to be our 4th year. It's one of our favorite weekends
in the world,
in the whole year. It's one of the best times. You know, weather's unpredictable, fish are giant, and it's just overall a great time as long as Ashton does all the culling and I don't touch the fish.
This is absolutely true.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen the last one, we posted it, I don't know, it'd be like a year ago today. Check it out, it's a pretty fun time. We're gonna do another one. We might get Chris and BR involved in it a little bit this year too, which would be pretty dope. So yeah, I mean, just a little rant on about some of our favorite stuff. Now, some of our favorite things that we catch them on got a little bit of a revamp this week, which is awesome and perfect timing for us. So you guys know Megabass makes the Hazadong shad. One of the best drop swimming, it is honestly, in my opinion, it's the best drop swimming bait that you can possibly have. I've been throwing them for, I don't even know, 8-10 years now, as long as they've been out essentially. I don't go fishing without them, and these new ones are incredible. So this is the OG version, okay? This is the Megabass Hazadong shad. It is, you know, has a little paddle tail on it. The new version, they've done some cool stuff with. So maybe making it slightly more versatile. I'm gonna give you a size comparison first. So 3-inch versus 3.4-inch. I got giant hands, so it's actually pretty substantial for the 0.4-inch. It's a little bit fatter. Profile's pretty similar. You can see it right there. But some really cool stuff on this new Hazadong. So first off, amazing colors. They've added some colors that they probably needed to have in the OG version. Also, the OG version's not going anywhere, so 3-inch, 4.2-inch Hazadongs are still obviously going to be available at all times. But this one brings a little bit of a spin to, you know, this ultra popular style. Now, my favorite way to throw a Hazadong shad is on a drop swim. So it's a drop shot. Basically, you work it a little bit more than you would a typical drop shot. You almost want to like drag it back to you in like slow pulses. That's how I like to fish it anyway. The tail's back there just kind of working. It looks like almost like suspending, maybe thinking about fleeing fish. This one's going to be similar. So I'll start with the tail. You're going to notice that it has a flat tail. First off, let's get that up there. So it has a flattened tail, but it also has this sort of T style of tail. So it's gonna be wider on the back. The whole thing is wider in my opinion, 0.4 inches longer, which again, doesn't seem like a lot, but you can tell by these two profiles that it's fairly substantial. This is going to be an awesome bait. Like this might turn into my new Okashira trailer, just a little bit more eye motion style. Also, if you're into strolling, this is gonna be a phenomenal strolling bait. It's gonna pair up with any head that you like to use. You know, I like to use really small, number 1, number 2, 1/8, 1/16, like really small heads, it's gonna pair up perfectly with that for me. It has a great rolling action in the water, and then it's still also gonna be amazing at the drop swimming technique that I was talking about. So, you know, I do throw this periodically on Okashiras, but I tend to like a little bit of a bigger profile. So I'll go to like Spark Shad. It just is a little bit bigger profile. I'll go to like an Easy Shiner when I want to slim it down. I think this is going to take over that for me, especially with the ability to kind of do a little bit more eye motion. So maybe not as much tail action in the water, but you're still going to get some from this tail. So I think that this is, you know, we teased this back in February when we were in Japan. It's something that I've been looking forward to for probably about 1.5 to 2 years now. Again, one of my favorite baits forever. Now, another thing you're gonna notice is the mouth's a little bit different. I don't think that's really gonna change anything onto it. It might just give you a little bit of a better point to insert the hook into it. Realistic eyes, I talk about it all the time. Any bait with realistic eyes for me is, you know, it's game changing. I don't know what it is about bass with baits with realistic eyes, but for me, it makes a huge difference. So if there is a possibility to have this type of silhouette with having the realistic eyes, I generally go towards it. Awesome colors. So we're gonna start running through these really quickly. Now, like most new things in Megabass, it's gonna be available right now, and then you're probably gonna have a good lapse in when they're gonna be available. Again, we have a decent stock on them. So I wouldn't say we have, you know, we didn't get everything we ordered. That's pretty typical, especially when you have a product like this that's new to the market, ultra effective. I mean, this is one of the best tournament winning baits forever in, I mean, especially in our area. I know a lot of the, you know, smallmouth tournaments are won on stuff like this. So if you're curious about it, if it makes sense for the style you're fishing, definitely check it out. Big player in that mid-strolling. Mid-strolling is everything right now. This will definitely be a factor in that. So back to colors. This one right here, kind of a classic color. This is USA Gobi. One of my personal favorites. New one. We got live Wakasagi. So you're gonna get a bunch of, it's kind of like it's almost like a ghost shad with a bunch of different fleck in there. So some green fleck, some blue fleck. It's a pretty fishable color. Another classic color, green pumpkin chartreuse. This is another new color. So they've actually added, you know, a handful of more, I would say, North American forward colors, as opposed to, you know, the Hazadong was mega in Japan before it ever came over here. So they were able to add a few, but they kind of kept with the core Japanese colors. This one, they've really honed in on colors that are going to work in North America. So we're going to have USA Pro Blue. This is an awesome bait imitating color, like one of probably the best in the whole thing. It has like a smoky blue back with a slightly solid, slightly opaque belly. Awesome color there. Classic color. Disco Stain. Another one of my personal favorites. This is Shio Kosho. So if you're looking for like a white profile bait, this is, you know, been one of my favorites. I don't know, it's just out of frame, but like I have stacks and stacks of colors like Shio Kosho. Anything white for me, I have a lot of confidence in. This is definitely one of the better ones. One that probably most people wish they had in the last one. It was only released periodically under Numa EB. We have USA Green Pumpkin finally. So it's a little bit darker on the back, like slightly, but overall a green pumpkin profile, which is awesome to see. Another new one, Natural Borealis Shad. So this is an interesting one. It's like it's almost like a watermelon pearl lamb, and then it also has that purple hue that Megabass does on a lot of their white baits really well. This is a beautiful color. Ayu. So this will be very similar to that Borealis without the purple in it. Probably the #1 selling color of all time. This is USA Green Pumpkin Shad. So you get the green pumpkin back and then a little bit of a off-white colored belly. It's opaque, but some light penetrates through it. Ghost Shad. Caught my first 6.5 pounder on a Ghost Shad back in the day. Another amazing OG color. This is Morocco. So again, just a really good bait imitating color. USA Tennessee Shad. So you guys that live around the Tennessee Shads, this is gonna be a player for you for sure. And last but not least, Ghost Shad Solid. So I'm assuming this is gonna end up being a pretty big player for me. It's ghosty, there's a light fleck in it. It's like a clear, solid, light fleck. Beautiful color. So if you're a fan of the Hazadongs, 3.4 inch Hazadong ST, all in stock, all those colors. Been waiting for these for a really long time. Go check them out. All right, quickly while we're still on Megabass, I got a handful of 4-piece travel Levantes in stock. Now, travel rods recently have kind of exploded. It's such an easy way to just make sure that you have something with you. You know, I like 1-piece rods, but I do have a handful of like Trizes, the new Steez travel rods that I carry with me at all times. You know, some days it's just nice to fish from shore. I like to, you know, go down to, we live like right near a river. There's a couple little areas you can kind of cut into and just have some fun fishing, you know what I mean? So Levante, there's gonna be 4 new models. I'm just gonna give you the Fs and the lengths. So, and I'll tell you if they're spinning or casting, obviously. So the first one is gonna be an F3, so like a medium-ish, medium light, 6'7" casting model. We're also gonna have an F5 6'11" in the casting. And then lastly, an F4, so, you know, on the upper end of medium. The other one was on the like medium heavy side. This will be an F4 6'8". So for us, once you get under 7 foot, I feel like a lot of people get nervous, but if you think about it and you're kind of packing down to go wherever to find fish, it's convenient to have a shorter rod. I've been experimenting with shorter rods for a lot of my casting lately. Like, you know, a lot of frog rods are 7'4", 7'9". I'm down to a 7-footer at this point. I just feel like I have more control over all the variables. So I actually like seeing some shorter travel rods. In the spinning, an F2 6'9", so kind of like that light, medium light, in that range. This would be a good kind of do most things rods outside of like dragging a tube and a little bit more power finesse style stuff. So if you're a fan of Levante, this breaks down into 4, comes in these awesome little packages that you can, you know, do up. It's like a, I want to do one for you, why wouldn't you? That's what we're here for. So it's like a chef's knife, you know, it unrolls. You take the top out and then you just end up with your 4 pieces. Now these are ferruled, so sensitivity should not be an issue for you. I know a lot of guys get real nervous about, you know, multi-piece rods, but brands like, again, Megabass, Shimano, Daiwa have all kind of figured out how to keep that bend without having those flat spots. Something that I do love, if you look on that right there, see those 2 dots? Makes it impossible for you to line these up incorrectly. So beautiful rod. You guys know how we feel about Levantes. It's one of the best valued higher end rods in my opinion. It's like that cusp where you're like jumping to a high end rod and you can feel comfortable where, you know, you're gonna get the sensitivity, it's gonna be light, it's gonna be sharp, crisp, and it's not gonna break the bank. So check the 4 pieces out from Levante now. All right, let's do something fun before we jump into the incredible stuff from Raid. So maybe 8 months ago, we started bringing you guys out the Pokemon baits from Duo. This week, we have some of them back, and we also have an additional one. So if you guys were a fan of the Pikachus, these are all back in stock. This is a Pikachu walking style topwater bait. So just a fun one, man. If you're, like, again, if you like Pokemon, you like topwater, you like Duo, any of the above, it's like a fun collectible, but they're also super fishable. When we did the last ones, we had a little contest where you submitted a photo with a fish caught on these. The amount of photo submissions we got was incredible. So the Pikachus are all back in stock as well. In the crankbait, we have the Psyduck. So Psyducks are all back in stock. I think they call it Koduck. It's called Koduck in Japan. Anyways, the Psyducks are all back in stock as well. And then in the new one, now I'm not super familiar with this one because I'm kind of old and I was around when the original Pokemon were out, but this is, I'm gonna butcher it because I can already see my brain going the wrong way. This is Kyogre.
Kyogre.
Kyogre. Kai something. Anyways, giant crawler. So if you already have a couple of the other ones and you just want to complete the set, this one's pretty, I'm gonna take it out of the wrapper just so we can see it a little bit better.
Crazy cool in the water.
Yeah, it does look cool in the water. I've had one of these for a long time. So there we go. Should I take, I'm just gonna take mine out. Let's take one. Look at it. Might as well, we're here already. So all of these are really fishable, but they're also just fun to collect. So, I mean, dude, this looks so sick.
I know.
So this is the Kyogre, Kyo something. It's gonna be a crawler style bait. So you're gonna get the 2 crawler arms. Dude, it looks so weird.
He's a whale.
I love when they do these like marabous. This is almost like, anyways, you get 2 big blue marabou hooks, and then it's gonna have a couple other little things on the back. ton of action in the water. I'm sure, I know a lot of guys aren't gonna throw these, they're just gonna collect them, but it looks badass, man. So if you're a fan of the big crawlers, this guy's gonna be 153 millimeters and 48 grams. So about an ounce and 3/4. Yeah, ounce and 3/4 exactly. So you need a little bit of gear for this guy, but nonetheless, it'll be fun to throw. Going back to this guy, 68 mil, 16 grams. And then the Pikachu is 106 with the tail, obviously. You got to consider the tail. 22 grams, so just over 3/4 ounce. All super fun. Hopefully some guys throw them, man. I feel like these are going to end up on shelves, yeah. But happy to have these back in stock. Plus the new one. I like this new one a lot, man. I wish I just knew how to say it. If someone knows how to actually pronounce this one, I only know the original, like what is it, 158?
I have no clue.
151? I only know the original Pokemon, so if you know how to actually pronounce this, let me know in the comments. These are all officially licensed, by the way.
Yes, they are.
Officially licensed. So this is an officially licensed Pokemon product, fishing lure with Duo.
Sick.
On Duo, a handful of the Koshinmushis that we brought out to you guys a couple weeks ago. We've got some additional colors. So this one here is Shirohitori. Again, this is just an incredibly fun bait. So 3.1 grams, 30 mil. If you're a BFS guy, this is going to be an awesome bait for you to throw. We also have Firefly. We had this in the larger one, I believe. We have Sunset Moth. And then the Clown Bug. So, you know, 4 additional colors for that. I got BFS guys. I feel like topwater BFS fishing is like one of the funnest possible things you can do. Really cool BFS bait. I love crawlers, dude. A lot of crawlers today. All right, from Raid. Now, Fish Roller is one of our best-selling mid-strolling, you know, minnow style of bait. Huge restock, 2 new sizes in the super. I'm gonna just check off some restocks here really quickly, just so you guys know. In the like OG 4-inch, 2 restocks. We got Zako, and then we also have the bait. Probably 2 of the most popular colors. This was like one of the baits that really got me into mid-strolling, the 4-inch size specifically. Also works great on like a Bama strolling rig if you guys are into that. If you're not into it, you should try it because Bama strolling is incredibly fun. It catches incredibly giant big bass. And one of my favorite trailers for that, Libero. Overall restock on Liberos. This is a classic. This is one of those new classics that we were talking about. Libero changed my entire way of throwing underspins. These things are so effective. The trailer that comes on them is awesome. If you don't like it, you can go to an easy shiner or something like that, but I generally eat up all the trailers and then I'll switch to something else if it's still good. Incredibly durable. I love the smaller size, the 5 and the 7 gram, because it takes the blade pretty tight to the body. It's just an awesome bait, man. It's super fun, effective for bass, walleye. It catches everything, man. So Liberos are pretty much all back in stock. And then super fish rollers. So handful of 5-inch, but I think the key ones are, you know, apparently, which I didn't know, a lot of you guys in the US have been snatching these up. The 7.5 and the 6.5-inch super fish rollers are back in stock in a mega way. So most of the colors, like I'm gonna do 7.5 first, just to kind of refresh everybody's memory on the color, because we don't get these very often. And there's some new ones. This first one is Kiwami Blue Wakasagi. We got Stealth Fish as well, Kiwami Ayu as well. All the good colors, man. We got the Live Fish, we got, you know, Lively Chartreuse back in stock, and then the Kiwami Blue Wakasagi. All those colors in the 7.5 and the 6.5 are back in. You guys that are able to catch fish on those, man, I'm jealous. I wish we had largemouth that big, because I love throwing, you know, giant soft plastic baits. Definitely check those out. We don't get them very often, so all you guys have already been snatching them up. Good on you. Now, the ones that kind of apply to us, right?
Oh yeah.
These are the new sizes in the super fish roller. So fish roller has 2 different classes right now: regular fish roller and the super fish roller. Regular fish roller are great for strolling. The super fish roller are super great for strolling. They're more of a flatter profile. So I'm going to show you the difference between the two, just for you guys that are new to mid-strolling, to fish rollers, to Raid in general. You're going to kind of get to see what makes Raid the fish rollers especially so special. They have two different styles. So they have the standard, you know, poured type plastic, and then they also do these really badass fish skin colors. So that's a fish skin color. This is the OG, you know, fish roller. Then we have the super fish roller. So there's the two side by side. The super fish roller is a lot thinner. It has more of a straight body. It helps it roll incredibly well. They're both gonna have forked tails. They're both gonna be pointed down forked tails. The super fish roller's profile in general is much smaller, obviously until you get to the giant guys. But when you're getting into the size comparison, like this is a 4-inch, this is a 3.5-inch. It's, you know, it's pretty substantial. Even in the 4.2s, man, like the 4.2s are like slightly longer, but not that crazy. So there you go. 4 versus 4.2. Much more slimmed down side profiles on these guys. If you're like strictly mid-strolling, probably go with the supers, man. I think they just roll a lot easier. It's almost like that checkering pattern just throws a little bit more into the water, in my opinion. These ones are still amazing. Like we sell a million of these, and I use these a lot on like that Bama strolling thing that I was talking about. If I'm spine hooking, I like these ones a little bit better, but if I'm throwing like a ball head, I almost always go with the supers. So I'll run through the colors for you guys. Again, there's fish skin, and then there's, you know, standard. So the fish skin are a little bit more money, but you get more of a realistic look to them. The standard ones are great. They're just poured, so you're not going to be able to do as, it's not like you can't do as much with them, but you can't obviously pour stripes into a bait. It's pretty difficult, and they kind of come out janky if you do. I'm going to run through the 4.2 colors. They all apply to the 3.5 colors, so I'll just show you 3.5 as well. So there's the 4.2 up top, 3.5 in the bottom. So it's a decent size difference, but both are ultra effective. 3.5, maybe drop shot, maybe 4.2, back of a chatterbait. There's a bunch of different applications you can do with these. These sit fairly level in the water, like when you're just kind of bringing them back. I know you catch a lot of them just on a straight retrieve, right? Yeah, without even shaking the rod. So extremely effective bait. Kiwami Purple Ayu, phenomenal color. This is Zappu. Smoke Shad, this is a brand new color in their lineup. Kiwami Ayu. Stealth Fish. Live Fish. Sand Wakasagi. So all those colors will transfer over to the 3.5s as well, just so I'm not boring you, showing you the exact same colors twice. If you're a fan of fish roller, those are all available. Also in the 5-inch, huge restock in the 5-inch. This is, again, outside of the 7.5s and the 6.5, which have exploded lately. The 5-inch is the original size that they were going to come out with. Fun fact, the 7.5s were actually never supposed to be like a retail item. This is part of Raid's Backyard Works. They basically come out with stuff on their online platform for the domestic market only. They showed me these a couple years ago, and I was like, dude, these will be incredible. I'm sure they got some rallying from other dealers as well, but super glad to see these, you know, steadily available here, because I know a lot of guys have been killing them on them. And then yeah, 5-inch anyways. All the regular colors are back, so I'm just gonna kind of hold them up. This is actually a new one here. It's gonna be stained gold. Magical Wakasagi is a new one. Ash. I just looked at it and I was like, how have you not shown me this? Because this is right up your alley.
Never seen it.
Dude, that's good.
That's crazy. Keep that one aside.
It's got a purple belly.
Keep that one aside.
Holy dude, that's a good one. Zako, Flash Wakasagi, and then Sweet Fish. So fish rollers as a whole, this is our biggest restock we've ever had. Pretty much everything should be in stock. I know a lot of people are excited about the new sizes. Don't sleep on the big ones. I mean, again, a lot of guys have already kind of picked up on them. Everything is available now. New this week from Fish Magnet. Now, this is a brand new brand in the store. This is made by Takuma Hata, one of the most famous bass fishing anglers in Japan. Does a lot of stuff with Zappu. We recently released the Limbo by, it's a collaboration with him and Zappu. This is his own brand, Fish Magnet. So the first product that we're getting is gonna be the Maga Tail. It's a 4.5-inch Nico style worm. Now I'm gonna take one out because the shape is a little bit unique. It's gonna have this sort of, it's hard to see when I'm just holding it. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. So that little hump in there it's designed to be like that. This isn't like a crinkled up package. Basically, it has sort of a cut tail, but it's not a thin cut tail. It's a bulbous cut tail. When you Nico rig this, or when you wacky rig this, it's gonna have sort of a thumping vibration in the water, something a little bit different than traditional wacky or Nico rigging where, you know, the worm's kind of falling and shaking on the way down. Most of the action is going to be in one end of the tail, so it helps you with orientation of the hook. You know which way they're going to eat it pretty much most of the time. It helps you with orientation of where to put your Nico rig weight. If that's what you're doing is your Nico rigging, you know that it goes in the regular end, and it's just something different. So if everybody around you is throwing Nico rigs, it's nice to have a little bit of a different profile. 4.5 inches, 7.2 a pack. I'm going to go through the colors for you guys really quick. Also, something that I should mention to you, this has SAF material in it. So similar to that Limbo and all of the G-Crack product, this has that scent that I rave about. I mean, I'm not a big scent guy, but there is something about the SAF scent. It smells like corn chips. I mean, I feel like the fish just hold it a little bit longer. So if usually they have something in a profile that I throw, I do tend to go with something SAF. Like that Limbo has become my #1 Nico rig worm over the last, I don't know, 3 months.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this one's definitely gonna go into the box as well. So if you're a fan of, you know, throwing worm style baits, this is a great one to check out. So we have Cinnamon Blue Shrimp, Hata Pro Diet Cola, Green Pumpkin Blue Flake, Brown Blue Goby, Ghost Scale Shad, Wakasagi Shrimp, Hata Pro Smoked Gill, and then Hata Pro Green Pumpkin. So 8 different colors, 8 fish catching colors. Definitely check out the new fish magnet stuff. We will be expanding on that brand. I'm excited for some of the stuff coming out. All right, guys, that's it for new product. Now, like I said, next week is gonna be a little different. I don't know if we're gonna come back and film or if we're gonna film at the house like we did last year. Definitely check out our social medias, man. So that's where we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna post a lot of stuff. You know, us out on the water, we post a lot of fish catches and stuff like that, which fish catches are always fun, man. You know, you love to see that stuff. Also, last week we dropped a video on some spy bait fish we were catching. If you're new to spy baiting, I want people to throw spy baits. It's such an effective way to catch those pressured fish. If you have any questions related to that video, feel free to reach out. I will do my best to get back to them as soon as possible. But essentially, you know, it's all gear related. So all the gear should be, we talk about it in the video. If you pay attention to that, you should be able to get pretty dialed in on catching spy baits. And then we also have a new video going out talking about sort of a spy bait hybrid from Megabass, the Okashira head. Another one of my favorite ways to catch, you know, more pressured fish. Usually when one's working, the other's working, but sometimes if you're getting the short strike on the Okashira, you can go back over to that spy bait and just get those ones on that back treble, which can be a little more stressful, but at least you're hooking up to the fish. Wish us luck out on the Great Lakes. We'll see you guys next week for the drop, and have a great weekend.